Peter Obi clashed with Ahmed Bola Tinubu over the purchase of new private jets as angry Nigerian woman lays serious curses on Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Hello Nigerians, you're welcome back to this channel and thank you for joining me once again today. You know, I've said several that Ahmed Bola Tinubu has finally destroyed this particular country, Nigeria. In fact, he is the #1 person that is demarcating Nigeria on the global scale. And I'm telling you the truth. You need to see how foreign newspaper, the New York Times, actually destroyed Ahmed Bola Tinubu and the Nigerian government. And you begin to question, why is it that since Ahmed Bola Tinubu became the president of Nigeria, why is it that there is no foreign investor coming into Nigeria to invest? Even the ones that we have are now leaving the country just because of what? The man has destroyed the economy with his poor economic policies. And I'm telling you the truth. You know, it is not enough to rig elections and become the president of the country when you have nothing, actually nothing to offer to the country. Just few days ago, it was reported that Nigeria has acquired a new loan from the World Bank of about 2.25 billion US dollar. And the next thing we heard was that they wanted to buy a private jet. That is to show you that these people don't care about the masses. They don't even care about how people are suffering, the hardship that people are going through every day in this particular country. All they are interested is to do what will benefit them. Their stomach infrastructure is very, very important to them. Of course, what do you expect when the people did not vote him? When it's clear that he became the president of Nigeria without the people's vote, you think that he will put the interest of the masses as his priority? No, now it will not happen. So all Ahmed Bola Tinubu could do after acquiring such a huge loan from World Bank is to use it to invest in a new aeroplane for himself and for his vice president being Kashim Shettima. And Peter Obi has come out to speak out and express his dissatisfaction on how this particular government will always mismanage funds, even in the face of this serious economic hardship. Even while people are suffering, the poor masses are suffering. You could see the inflation rising every day. Now a cup of rice is about 400 to 500 naira. A bag of rice is about 80-something thousand naira. The poor masses cannot even eat at least food 3 square meal a day because the country can no longer produce. And instead of Ahmed Bola Tinubu to use the acquired loan to invest in the production sector of this country and in agriculture, Ahmed Bola Tinubu wants to use it to buy a presidential jet for himself and for his vice president. Now look at what Peter Obi actually said concerning that particular news. Now Peter Obi tweeted, he said, at a time when our country is trending on the global media for facing its worst economic crisis, marked by high inflation, a falling currency, and widespread poverty, the government's plan to buy new presidential jets demonstrates extreme insensitivity to citizen struggles. With rising insecurity, poverty, hunger, and homelessness, this decision highlights the disconnect between the government and the people. It is unacceptable and demands a more compassionate use of resources, prioritizing citizens' welfare. It's on record that our presidential jets have an average age of 12 years, purchased when most Nigerians could afford basic necessities. Now, as our country faces significant challenges, including a high debt profile, our citizens are in even greater need. Instead of adding to our luxuries, we should be focused on alleviating their suffering and finding solutions to their problems. For long, our bad leadership has made our priorities as leaders to be at variance to the need of society, which is why we are headed now south. As a nation, to elucidate further, despite dropping down to the 4th largest economy in Africa with a GDP of 252 billion US dollar and a per capita in income of $1,080, with huge debt burdens and borrowing to service debt, yet we are spending $15 million for a vice president's residence. While the USA, the world's largest economy with a GDP of $25 trillion, about 100 times our GDP, and a per capita income of 80,000 US dollar, about 80 times ours, still houses their vice president in #1 observatory circle, a house built over 100 years ago, and whose value is obviously less than the $15 million we are spending on our vice president residence. A reputable real estate company actually reports that the US vice president's official residence is valued about $7.5 million today. While we had earlier refurbished the old VP residence with $2 million, the over 100 years old US vice president's house has only done wide-scale renovations twice, funded by taxpayers' money in 1993 and in 2021. Every new US VP is free to finance any minor refurbishing from his personal funds. It's therefore time to stop this impunity, insensitivity, and shameless and focus on the needs of our people. We must prioritize education, healthcare, and lifting our citizens out of poverty. Let us work together to build a nation that truly serves its people, not just the interest of a few. Let's rise to the challenge and build this new Nigeria, which is now more possible than ever before. Peter Obi. Now, I believe you actually saw that this is what Peter Obi actually tweeted and what he said concerning the plans of the president to buy a new presidential jet for himself. Look at the way they are spending money without even thinking about the poor masses in the country. You see, they actually came, they told us that they are going to make some economic decisions that will, bring about positive changes. But this is not what we are seeing. They keep asking Nigerians to sacrifice, yet they cannot sacrifice. They cannot show that example that they want Nigerians to do. Now, moving on from that, let me tell you that the suffering and the hunger in Nigeria is becoming unbearable. Some people are now coming out to curse Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Now, people are now coming out to lay curses on him and his children. Now, I want you to listen to this woman, and when we come back, we'll just wrap up the video.
And Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our fallen president. People are going through a lot. The poor people are suffering. I know you don't feel the pains of the poor. I know you don't feel anything about the poor. Nothing concerns you about what the people are going through, because your heart is as dark as charcoal. You are like a vulture looking for a dead body to devour. I know you don't feel the poor people pains. I wonder how the poor people keep quiet. They refuse to say something. They refuse to pour out their agony. Everybody's keeping quiet, enjoying the hardship that Tinubu has brought to us. I'm not going to enjoy it because I don't have. That is why I will speak out. I will use the small money I have to buy data to speak out. We are suffering. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I know you don't have heart. Your heart is as dark as charcoal, but I will still say something. And my prayer is your children will face what you put us through. Your children will suffer it. You think you have escaped, but our prayer is your children calamity will fall upon them. Distraction will fall upon your children. God will hit your children with a bigger problem that is way higher than what the poor people are going through. Disaster will fall upon your children. They will suffer. The kind of disaster that will fall upon your children, even the best hospital in abroad cannot be able to save your children. God will punish your children, because we the poor are going through a lot. We can no longer afford food in the market anymore. God will punish your children. If I say God will punish you, you are older. Very soon you will die. So it is your children that my prayer is going to. Disaster will fall upon your children. The kind of disaster that will fall upon your children, even the doctors will not be able to save your children. Your lineage will perish by the grace of God, except God did not answer. God did not want to answer the prayers of a poor person. As long as God lives and God answered prayers, your children will face calamity by the grace of God.
Now, I believe you're listening to her. Only what she has said alone will let you know the kind of suffering that people are passing through in this particular country. There are people here who cannot afford what they eat every day, and the government is bent on spending Nigerian money in frivolities. They are bent on spending it on the few Nigerians while others are suffering. Anyway, guys, I'll just drop this video and allow you to drop your comments in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel.